Yep. Just wiping off the crisps from my face I had earlier. Lidl's own beef and ale crisps. Pass. Pass. Oh, that's a strong, strong pass from me. Not good. Put your flattest shoes on, guys. We're having a barn dance and everybody's invited. But this is no regular hokey cokey. It's going to be knees bent, neck stretched, head in the toilet bowl, too much cherry aid and what's it. My mom's going to kill me for puking on my corduroy trousers. Welcome, everybody, to episode 8 of the Lager Logs Points of View with Tom and Stu. I'm Tom, he's Stu. Say hello, Stu.
Hello.
Perfect. Absolutely nailed it. Yes, it's that time of the week where we like to get a bit weird and wild and attempt to ditch all adult responsibilities for at least a couple of hours. And yes, I'm going to be down in fizzy lifting drink whilst the police actually surround my house for stealing paper clips from my last job. I saw it as a going away present. They see it as a night of lock picking at my local Toys R Us. I mean, what? I'm supposed to just buy Croc on PS1. Yes, my friends, blue collar crime for me all the way, although I'm wearing nothing but my string vest and a smile. Stu, disregarding that life altering possibility, how has your week been?
It's been fine. How's your week been?
Thank you for asking. That was very quick.
I was making sure you wouldn't fucking burn me again.
I feel very special. No burns tonight. Just good old chat. If that's okay with you. If you want to start a fire, I'm into a little bit of little pyromania. Never hurt anybody. It's been okay. Yeah, it's the same old kind of thing. Waiting to record with you, which is obviously like waiting for Christmas Day. I've done a few bits this week. Physically left the house for some strange reason. I've started to walk everywhere, even if the sun's out. The streets are dry in my Wellington boots. So I don't know whether it's because I'm getting older or I've just completely given up on life or I'm trying to, embrace my roots. My father was a piece of beef, my mother a lump of puff pastry, and they met in a pharmacy. Take your time with that one. It's a doozy. It's a doozy. Let's cut to the chase. Stu, is there anything else you'd say about your week?
I too was also I acquired a pair of wellies myself.
Wow, great minds and all that. What have you been up to in them?
I've been off on holiday for a couple of days now, and we're like, man, we could really do with kind of having some of those long walks, tire the kids out. Cannot cut about to these forest walks in a pair of holy trainers. So
who blessed them?
Life on several occasions. But,
I thought you were going to say Crocs. I could picture you more as a Crocs man myself.
I've never been one of those guys.
No, never.
Nah, I'm sorry. I clearly don't show you my feet enough.
I will just have to change my fantasy.
Then you're going to have to adjust your artwork to your flip book.
I'll have to change my fan art. Yeah, I'll take that one down that I've already uploaded to the internet and produce another one. Crockless.
I'm going to be so disappointed.
Okay, that's a pretty good week. It sounds like you've had, buddy, keeping your cardiovascular up, which is always important when you're drinking heavily. The Everly brothers. We're drinking the Everly brothers every weekend. Listeners, let's cut to the chase. We thank you for tuning in from the bottom of our hearts and also the top of our livers. We've got a few interesting beers to jump into tonight. We're trading in the class from last week. That was the Brewskis, not us. For something a bit stranger and a bit off kilter. It's like going to a car dealership, dropping off your Porsche and leaving with a U-boat.
Ran back to home bargains.
Home bargains. We're back. We missed you, baby. I think it's time for a drinky poo. What are you saying, Mr. Sutherland?
Oh, what do we start with? Do we start with the green bottle or the brown bottle?
Well, I tossed a coin to decide the order of these two and didn't get any change. Stu, we finally, I think we should go with 49er because we finally tracked down a golden ale for you, my friend. Geez, look, it's got my mother-in-law in the on the bottle. But from what I've read, I apologise. This is more of a strong bitter, much like our old friends Trooper and Old Speckled Hen. Well, this is Ringwood's 49er to clarify. But yeah, we'll have a taste and we can see what you think, buddy. Whether you think that's an accurate assessment. I haven't tried this before. I think these both are new to you as well, right?
Definitely.
So let's crack in. Yeah, it definitely smells like bitter.
Yep.
Sorry, man. We did try. Maybe you'll get some love for the Baltika. Some good pouring. I like to pour in silence. It's good for the show.
No, I just turned the bottle upside down.
For the audience. Did you get it all out, yeah?
Yep.
In, out, shake it all about. All right. That looks good. Is it a good colour?
Yeah. Yeah,
Did you see through it this time?
I could.
Cheers, buddy.
Cheers.
So, sorry, man. What were you about to say before you? Oh, he's already drinking. He's already started drinking. He started. Can't stop him now.
Oh, that's different.
Yeah, it's nice, man. That is very nice. Yeah, that's definitely more of a strong bitter for me rather than a golden ale. That's a bit odd. That is. It's kind of branded as that, but it's very similar to the Trooper in that respect. That because again, like Trooper and Old Speckled Hen, this is more of a strong bitter, so it's curious. Like Trooper, it's kind of branded as a golden ale rather than a bitter, but it's definitely a strong bitter in my books.
Almost, I reckon, a bit malty, like.
Yeah, man. There's malty. There's kind of a bready vibe going on. There's almost like a biscuity thing going on. A little bit.
I can never get that.
You get any custard creams on that, no?
Nah. Not even rich tea.
Dipped or undipped?
Oh, we dipped the biscuits in it. Okay.
Yeah. Where you been living for the past how many years? Biscuitless. That's what I guess.
Sorry, I was treating it like mouthwash there.
Say you were contemplating on, I don't know whether it was life or the beer then. I appreciate both. So yeah, it's in the title. I mean, this clocks in at a very, very admiral. Jeez, I've only had like 2 sips. What's going on, man?
You've been eating biscuits all day. You need to line your stomach.
Honestly, what's going on? This clocks in at a very admiral 4.9%, as in the title, 49er. Makes sense. No affiliation to the NFL team. It's made by Ringwood, which is a microbrewery founded in, funnily enough, market town Ringwood in southwest Hampshire. First brewed in 1978, it was acquired by Marston's about 15 years ago and now lives happily in that family of beers. Well, I don't know about happy. I could shoot them an email to check. The toilet facilities may leave a lot to be desired. I don't know. Since then, they've specialised in creating beers with pigs wearing moustaches on the front. I don't know whether that constitutes as animal cruelty, but it's definitely not halal, facial hair or not. Amongst them, Old Thumper, which seems to be another strong bitter that takes a few more steroids than this one. It's a bit stronger. Which won Camera Champion Beer of Britain, which is Kodak's official beer prize in 1988.
What? What?
I'm only jesting with you. Camera is the campaign for real ale.
Okay.
That's those guys. Yeah, they have nothing to do with the camera company, unfortunately, because that would be a hilarious anecdote. Circadian is their IPA, and Razorback is their best bitter. Boondoggle, I did the research, is listed as their blonde ale, so maybe that could be one to check out to compare to what we're having to go on tonight. But this one's also a golden ale, but this one is a golden craft ale. So I'm just confused. I don't know. I'm enjoying it. It's a nice beverage. Can we just stop getting into the technicalities of beer? What do you think we're here for? We're here to have a good time. So, Stu, let's stop, drop, and roll our way into a topic that we like to call erstwhile beverages observed. And I want you to talk because I want to have a go on this. And let's start by asking you, how was the last 168 hours for you? I know you had a few extra hours after you cut your own arm off to have a few beers, so tell me all about it.
Yeah.
You got nothing now. Yeah, you got nothing.
No, I've sampled 2 beers this week.
Oh, exceptional. Lay it on me, man.
On Sunday, while I was doing the old Sunday shop, going through Aldi, I could not pull myself away from their beer aisle, and I decided to sample a bottle of Old Jock.
Yes.
Aye.
I'm glad that you dived in, man. I'm happy that the kind of darker beers that we've been sampling on the show have kind of led you into that dark tunnel
to the dark side. I am sorry.
Beers a bit more on the wild side.
So, and that's it. Just when I look at that wall of weird and wonderful beer they have in Aldi, I start recognizing bottles now. Wait a minute, Tom had that one.
Yeah, it's like being a kid in a candy shop or Jimmy Savile in a nursery.
No. Why? We're doing so well.
Just go on. Just continue with describing Aldi's. I mean, there's no need to drink. I mean, just
make it the memories go away.
Continue the discussion. No, I mean, we don't need dead air. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we would cause that.
I think. I think unconscious air is fine, just not dead air.
I quite enjoyed the bottle of Old Jock. It was pretty decent. And later on in the week, I was back on Films and Swearing, recording episode 253, and we were doing
madman.
We were reviewing the film Bloodsport.
That's awesome, dude. So you were drinking Old Jock while watching Bloodsport, because that is a fantastic combination.
It was not that combination, unfortunately.
So the Old Jock had been finished by the time Bloodsport came around.
Yes, that was quickly necked the day I bought it. But
congratulations on 253, though. Jeez.
Yeah.
Well done, man. Well done.
We decided to do Bloodsport as I think next week, Tuesday, possibly, will be Jean-Claude Van Damme's 60th birthday.
Happy birthday,
so we thought, fuck it, the Muscles for Brussels deserves an episode.
We'll have a cause in his honour.
Yeah, so I thought...
You better be wearing double denim, otherwise I'm leaving.
I just done the whole episode whilst doing the splits between 2 couches.
That's how you podcast anyway, isn't it? I was certain.
Real strain for about 90 minutes. It's like, Christ, this is like twice the length of the lager logs. I really should stop doing the splits.
After 45, it's all downhill, man. It's downhill from the beginning. It just gets further downhill. It's like a landslide after 45.
I'm getting to that age now. I'm doing the splits and my balls still touch the floor.
But what a beautiful image to mull over while I'm having my beer.
I'm sure Van Damme will know. Like, he's turning 60. You could probably throw him over his shoulder now. But anyway,
saggy balls and no Crocs. It's just a dream combination.
I was reviewing Bloodsport and I decided to revisit Doombar.
Oh, really? Awesome, man. Did you go bottle this time or bottle again? Or
just bottle again? I just...
Nice the cans.
There's no cans around here.
No
can dance. But... no can dance reviewing Van Damme's.
I didn't know you were a freestyler.
So when I was in Home Bargains picking up these 2 bad boys for the episode, I thought I'll just go a safe bet as well. Picked up Doombar, and it was just a nice bitter drink to kind of keep me fresh for the podcast.
Yeah. Keep you fresh, or just get you through the podcast.
It was crisp, bitter, kind of just kept me going.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, I'm glad that you're kind of partaking in these beers that maybe you wouldn't have partaken in 8 episodes ago. Are we
Mm-hmm.
on episode 8? Yeah.
Yes.
8 episodes ago. Yeah, no,
Like
that's
it.
awesome, man. I was just say because I think I said the episode will be intrigued in trying it out of the can, see how it kind of it differs. I don't think it's a draft can with a widget. It's just I'd be curious as to kind of how it
I
tastes.
haven't seen any of those, like not Doombar anyway.
Yeah, I
Seen
can't.
that can.
I know they do. Like I've seen them on Amazon and stuff, but like yeah, no, I haven't physically seen them in the shop yet. But I will try and hunt that down and we can talk about it, or I can talk about it on the show. Also, man, that sounds like a pretty killer combination
Mhm.
for you. Just a couple for me this week. Before you say, I know I'm ashamed. My name is Tom and I'm not an alcoholic. I've got another one on top that I forgot. I cracked into that nice bottle of Marston's Bombardier for the Lager Logs after party last weekend. I
Yes.
do like to try and outstay my welcome if I can.
Well, that was it. As soon as we were like saying cheerio at the end of the episode, I just seen you crack the like with one hand. Like,
Just
are we?
whip the
Wait,
head
are we
off.
doing a double episode? No, I've got problems.
That sounds about right, man. Yeah, yeah, classic, strong bitter, no frills, no gimmicks, just a nice, easy drinking brewski to have a go on while you talk absolute nonsense with a Scotsman into the wee hours. Seems to be a recurring pastime of mine.
Can't be bothered turning on the central heating, but you want to get warm.
I know, and you still haven't shown me your Loch Ness monster. And obviously, I was in Lidl yesterday
Mm-hmm.
trying to pick up chicks as I normally do on a Thursday morning.
The
And
Kievs are nice, aren't they?
that's always an icebreaker. And I was temporarily, much like you, blindsided by the offer of Lidl's home beer for just over £1 a bottle. So I said toodaloo to Shaniqua. Obviously shoplifted a couple back home to have a go on last night. Yeah, I gotta say, I've seen their beers a few times. I know you have too, Stu, and
Yeah.
I've never took a gamble, but I was really surprised by the depth of the range. There was an IPA and a golden ale, but I came home personally with. Go on, man.
No, sorry, this is like the Hatherwood
Yeah. Did I not
bottles.
say that? This is why you're here. This is why I have
Aye.
you.
And that's, I think every Lidl's must come with them on their shelves. And it's strange that they're numbered.
Yeah, so I think there's 5 in the range. There's the IPA, the golden ale. I think there's a ginger beer as well on top of what I had, which was the Ruby Rooster Ruby Ale and
Right.
Purple Panther Porter. I'm liking the alliteration. I'm a fan.
Yeah.
The Ruby Ale was lovely. Yeah, it was really smooth, like a blend between a strong bitter and a brown ale.
Yeah.
It was crazy. It was really distinctive. Like definitely some Darth Vader. Definitely some
dark
Darth Vader
chocolate.
vibes. Yeah, some dark chocolate toffee vibes going on. It took me by surprise. Really nice. The porter, on the other hand, I didn't dig as much, but full marks for being really flavoursome. Because you think, you would think it's quite a cheap purchase, but it's definitely not a cheap product they're putting out there. There's a lot of flavour to it. You would think maybe it's not like Asda's own £1.20
like an old
four pack of bitter. Yeah, do you know what I mean? Like 2.5%. It's not. Do you know what I mean?
Aye,
You think there's not a lot of flavour there, and yeah, I mean,
quality.
I drink that every weekend, and I just wanted to change. That's all. But yeah, it was full marks for being really flavoursome. It was drinkable. The porter it just had this coffee twinge to it that I didn't get on too well with. No sweetness at all, which is weird for a porter.
Yeah.
Just like one note, extreme kind of bitterness to it. But yeah, wow. I mean, as I say, really surprised with the quality of the range so far. And for just over £1 a piece, cheap thrills, my friend.
Yeah.
Very, very cheap thrills. Yeah, definitely.
Ruby Ale in comparison to Hobgoblin.
It was as I say, it was kind of just giving me a hint of Hobgoblin. It was just kind of sliding in to the.
They're both classed as Ruby
territory.
Ales, aren't they?
Yeah, definitely. They're both. I mean, technically, again, I don't know whether this one is technically brown ale or it's literally going for kind of a hybrid style because again, it says it's kind of a ruby ale, but the taste it was like almost like a strong bitter, and then it kind of had the hobgoblin at the end, like a bit more of the toffee vibes from a brown ale or a hobgoblin at the end. So yeah, interesting, man. It was kind of like a half and half hybrid mixture situation.
Decent.
Recommended, yeah. I'd like to have a go on it again. As I say, like £1 something. It'd be daft not to
Exactly.
not to, dude. So yeah, man, that was me for the week. I haven't even began to drink this, but I'm gonna down it in the name of all that's holy. But to sum up, what are your thoughts on this bad boy, Stu? How do you think it compares to Trooper and Old Speckled? And do you agree with the assessment of it being more of a strong bitter than a golden ale?
Possibly. I mean, I am the novice. I can never tell the difference. So it's definitely beer. It's definitely bitter.
Tastes like beer to me.
I'm not enjoying it as much as I would compared to Trooper anyway. Maybe, and possibly, I think I enjoyed Old Speckled Hen more.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if it's just maybe too malty, and I hate describing every drink as it's bitter. It's like, right, you need to find more words for your fucking vocabulary, Stuart. You're reviewing the beverage. I was like, I'm sorry, I can't taste the toffee.
No, it's definitely bitter. I was getting kind of more of a smoother taste when I first opened it. Now it's kind of a bit more metallic-y, kind of a twang to it. Not that it's a bad thing, it just it's got more of a fizzy kind of metallic-y twang to it now. I'm kind of getting further into the pint. Yeah, but I mean, I think it's along the same lines in terms of taste, but yeah, I mean, as you said, I think the Trooper and the Old Speckled might slightly take first and second place, or dual first place.
But if
matchup,
that's it. If it was on the shelf with Trooper and Old Speckled Hen, I would this would be my last choice.
Resort.
Yeah.
How many pieces do I need to cut your life into?
All right, Papa, that's
enough. So, do you want another beer? Have you enjoyed this so far and want to, take this relationship further, or do you just want to kind of call it a night now?
Yeah, I think 8 episodes is enough. Shut it down. I've already closed the Twitter page. Let's go. We're shutting shop.
That's it. We've already set to self-destruct. The countdown has begun. So, Joe, I'm just gonna down this before we go because I'd hate the mixed beers.
Don't waste it.
Beautiful. Second beer for tonight.
Tall boy.
It is a tall boy. We have hold on to your Ushkanangas. Baltika, number 7. Jeez, I think they're encouraging street drinking by having a ring pull on this thing.
Yeah. I mean, this must be a classy drink. Ring pull?
Wow. I literally thought that was just going to come off then and leave the lid on, but it's actually come off the whole way. Well done. Well done. That stinks. That smells terrible.
I don't smell much.
Awful. That's like hot dogs and farts. Or farts brought on by hot dogs. Jeez Louise.
Oh, you would know about that then.
Happens when you're shopping, Lidl.
Baltika Premium Export Lager. What is it? Brewed in Russia?
Brewed in Russia, yeah. This is a Russian brewski, so a first for the show. I'm gonna pour it out and have a look at its colour. So I think that's what we're supposed to do as beer reviewers, Stu. Did you get the memo on that one? I didn't get the memo. No.
Let's have a little pour. And that's it. I was already a little bit skeptical about this one because a green bottle, blue label, flashbacks of Effes.
Yeah. I mean, again, I think it was one of those that at home bargains, there's always that one random beer that just looks a bit dodgy, and
that
was
one random Russian.
Yeah, and I think Baltika fit into that category for us this week. But all right, mate, let's dive in. Cheers, bud.
Cheers. I'm not a fan.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Where's my 49er?
I kind of saw this coming. It's odd. It's almost got like a cider twinge to it, hasn't it? Like, I don't know whether it's not sweetness I'm getting, but it's almost like a. Do you know what I mean? Like that kind of appley kind of.
Yeah, there's that harshness.
Harshness. I don't know whether it's because I mean, this is a Russian international pale lager, and I don't know whether it's because it stands at a very inviting. I was going to say 5.4%, but I'm regretting those words now. But yeah, I don't know whether it's because of the strength, but it's definitely got an odd taste to it. You enjoy that, buddy, while I fill the beautiful people in about Baltika or Baltika. It launched in 1994, so it's a relatively newish brewski, and was timed, according to Baltika themselves, to coincide with the Goodwill Games of the same year. And by Goodwill Games, I don't mean hunting for approval and supporting your wife by doing the washing up for a week in hopes she'll break out the twister mat on a Friday night and go to town. I mean, people getting physical in the snow for international glory. Sounds like the winter I spent breakdancing for Belarus. Long story. Apparently, this one is a big winner in its hometown and globally has been voted best light beer at the Moscow, or as the Americans say, Moscow Beer Festival year in, year out. They're part of the Carlsberg group now and do an insane amount of beers. I mean, this is number 7. Quite similar to maybe Lidl's been taking tips off them. They go all the way up to number 9, and they're all lagers. Like, they're all lagers, dude. Yeah, they do. Because I was thinking, okay, so, one could be your bitter or 2 would be your stout, but they're all lagers, and they go all the way up to number 9. And they do fruit flavored, wheat, dark lager, and just strong lager variations. A whole bunch of crazy stuff. So yeah, again, it's one of those brands that you don't really hear about, and as I've learned on the show, it's often for a reason.
There's a reason when there's budget beer and home bargains. It's not always quality.
I mean, yeah, this is, it's being kind of an international pale lager, which I've been enjoying a lot recently. I've been going or I've been on quite a kick with. I thought that this might be something interesting to try and have a go on, but it's very, very odd. Yeah. Normally they're quite, you know what you're getting with them. They're quite dependable, but this is, throwing a spanner in the works.
Yeah. Kind of like, it's drinkable.
Very, very distinct taste. It's drinkable, yeah.
Is it enjoyable? Well, debatable.
It's like, it's kind of simmering down now. That initial kind of smell and taste was a bit weird, but it's kind of simmering down now a bit, and I'm enjoying it a bit more than I was.
I find myself, I'm just sipping it now. I'm always like, I'm not even kind of having big mouthfuls. It's like, I guess.
Could you put it into fewer words, please?
More sound, okay.
So while we enjoy the sweet taste of capitalism, let's dive into our second topic of this evening. I thought it would be fun, as me and Stu are not only film and beer nuts, we're also big purveyors of TV shows, and wanted to share our favourite beer or drinking moments in televisual land. So, Stu, have you got something to bring to this show and tell that we could discuss? I'd enjoy it.
I've got kind of 2 answers.
Awesome.
So we'll let you quickly.
Big one there. Big one there.
You all right? Feel better after that?
I feel a lot better now. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's it.
Thanks for checking.
I had like a big fish supper before tonight's episode, and I think mixing the beer in it is not beneficial.
I don't think there's anything more British than that, Stu. So you should be proud.
I know. Having a fish supper and then washing it down with a Russian lager. If that doesn't scream Scotland, I don't know what will.
I didn't really think about it in that way, but
Ugh.
you may be right. But you're doing a lot of favors for international relations, so think about it like that.
Yeah.
You're not going to win your gold medals, but you're making a start.
It's all right, Tom. You don't need to fill in the dead air. I've got
I'm
my
just trying to
answer.
help you out. I'm trying to help you out.
Yeah.
That's
So,
what I'm doing. I
my two answers for
let you
TV,
speak.
people, and beer.
Pull back.
Just don't worry, you're good. You have to go with the classic TV comedy Cheers.
Nice one, man. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a good call, dude. That's a very good call.
Norm, Cliff Clavin, like these people are just perched at the end of the bar and are just constantly supplying the funnies whilst being supplied with beer.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's a whole obviously series based around drinking and the kind of the bar lifestyle. Would you call it?
Sure.
Yeah, that's a good call. That's a good call, man. Again, I think I'm more of a fan of its spin-off.
Yes, Frasier.
Yeah, I would think. But no, it's a great show, man. Kind of underrated in this day and age. Not a lot of people talk about it, but I know it's kind of been on TV recently
Forever.
here.
Exactly.
Yeah, a lot more in the UK over here. Like the past couple of years, I think it's kind of getting a new leash of life with new people discovering it, which is awesome. But yeah, man, you think about the people that obviously their careers started there, like Woody Harrelson, and obviously
Exactly. He's like a fresh-faced
fresh
boy in
faced
his
Woody, yeah,
20s. Aye.
yeah, like what he went on to, which is awesome. That's a very very good call. Any specific moments or episodes that you'd like to
God.
bring up?
I just really the character Norm Peterson. He would always come in. It was always kind of like it would steal the scene. He would come in, have a witty line, and the answer would always be beer. And they just always just slide him a glass, and he would just sit there, sink beer, and it was always like one of these reliable characters just to kind of pick up an episode.
Yeah.
Because you always had him teamed with like Cliff Clavin, where it was like this postman that would deliver far too much information, and then Norm would just take the piss out of him, and the audience would laugh. It was like good enough for me. I would sit and watch that shit every day when I was on the dole.
Sitcom.
I finished college. There was not a job waiting for me at the end. So there was a 3-month stint where I would wake up in the mornings, watch a double bill of Cheers, followed up with a double bill of Frasier. Then Everybody Loves Raymond would come on, and I would have a shower.
King of Queens involved in that as well.
Yes,
I think that's
that
the
was
holy early morning sitcom quadrilogy over here in the UK.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
That takes up like 2 to 3 hours of programming on Channel 4 every morning. They don't need to think about it. Just American reruns.
In terms of that day, I know you've already said about your TV viewing and your shower. How much of that, the rest of the day, was dedicated to breaking into houses?
Moving on. My second answer.
A couple of hours, or okay, that's fine. You can go into the second answer. If you don't talk about that, that's fine. This isn't Dr. Phil.
We can't
This is the Lager Logs, so you can choose to keep it on the beer-related path. That's fine.
Yep.
So, Shu, you had a second answer.
Yeah, kind of
well.
like the opposite. Like, okay, we've got like Norm Peterson, your calm, sits and cracks the funnies, drinks the beer, and then in the early 2000s, it is kind of a TV show, definitely. It's fictional in a sense. You had Stone Cold Steve Austin, beer guzzling wrestler. Every week, he would come out, hold his hands out, and beer would fly to his hands. He would crack open both tins, glug, 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 look at someone, give him a Stone Cold Stunner, put his hands out again, and 2 more beer would come flying to the palms of his hands. He'd crack those open and usually pour them into the opponent's face. Hopefully they weren't straight edge because they've now just had 2 Steve Weisers poured down their neck.
So you're bringing Stone Cold, the character, to the table.
Yes, it was a TV show, and he was beer fueled.
Man, the thing I remember about watching wrestling back in the day, that I think Sky One, and I'm talking like the Attitude Era, as I'm certain that you're part of the kind of same era. I would think, Stu. You're probably a bit older than me, but I think Attitude's
Yes,
probably still a big part of your life. But I remember whenever you used to watch it on Sky One back in the day, and they would cut to the crowd every
every
time
time.
someone got hit in the face.
Yeah, whenever they get hit with a steel chair, you'll get the crowd wince and go, "Oh," which was really like when it was Attitude Era. Every match was violent, and there's cheating, and there's chair shots,
Yeah,
and
it was
you
like
didn't see fucking 50% of that match.
you, yeah, and you'd be disappointed in yourself, but you'd be like, you'd always tune in, you'd always watch it, and I think that was a really kind of reminder of how strong the Attitude Era was. That the storylines and the characters were so good that even though you were missing out on some of the violence, you still tuned in. You know, you had those iconic characters, and Stone Cold is obviously
Yep.
one of those in that short list.
Mm-hmm.
That's
So
a
Tom,
that's a deadly combo, buddy. I like it. I like it a lot.
I hope I never took any of your answers.
You didn't. You were close
Oh,
though.
brilliant.
No, Cheers. I had thought about, but I say I'm more of a Frasier guy, but I do like Cheers. I think that's a very good answer. And I
Mm-hmm.
couldn't think of a show other than that was all about beer.
Yeah, so you couldn't really pull in like Marty Crane and his love for Valentine's.
No, I couldn't. Like, obviously, I mean, he loves his beer, but it wasn't really Frasier, not really kind of a
Enough.
beer related show. But
Oh
I was
yes, there's
thinking
all the
of,
sherry.
well, yeah, and I was thinking of TV shows where, I mean, there's been a lot of episodes of certain shows that spring to mind that are beer related, but it's just kind of one episode or a couple of episodes. But I thought the one show that consistently
Hmm.
did I
Yep,
say
you're
that
right.
right?
Yeah,
I actually double guessed
good for
myself then.
you.
I looked you in the eyes and I didn't see approval, so I changed it. Um, you kind of gave me one of these.
Just because my eyes are shut doesn't mean I'm not listening.
You're just resting with your eyes closed, yeah? I
Yeah,
thought so.
keep
Uh,
talking.
the show that consistently has great beer or drinking episodes is The Simpsons, which has to be
Ah, yeah.
my pick. And I was mulling over like which episode is my favorite,
Mhm.
and there's a lot of episodes that feature drinking. But the first one that comes to mind is Selma's Choice from season 4, which is when Selma, Bart, and Lisa visit Duffland, and
Mm.
it's got so many great beer related moments, whether it be the drunken fish or the seven duffs or the beer goggles Bart puts on. But then another episode I immediately thought of was While Bart's Can't Be Broken from season 10, when Homer, Barney, and Lenny and Carl get drunk when the Oddstubs win the championship and break into Springfield Elementary, proceed to drive around the school, wrecking the place, and it ends with a drunken sing along in the shower. And I was like, yeah, those are good, but I think the one classic episode that's entire plot revolves around drinking. It has to be Homer versus the 18th Amendment from season 8, where Homer and Bart become beer bootleggers when Springfield's
Ah,
breaks
yeah.
prohibition.
Mhm.
It's a classic episode, and it's pretty much. Have you seen this one?
I think so.
Yeah, it's pretty much a parody of The Untouchables, which I
Mm.
didn't really get when I first saw it as a kid.
Mhm.
But it's a great narrative washing line to hang all the beer smuggling antics onto.
Yeah.
Comic actor Dave Thomas guest stars as Rex Banner,
Ah.
who's the guy going after the beer bootleggers, which are end up being Homer and Bart, and yeah, it gives it a bit more of a comedic punch, having him guest star. And there's a hilarious St. Patrick's Day parade at the beginning of the episode, and there's Mo disguising his bar as a pet shop, and there's Homer and Bart cooking up their own homebrewed liquor in the basement. And
Mhm.
I have a soft spot for the Simpsons episodes which focus on Homer and Bart together on a crazy adventure, so it's up
Mhm.
there for me it's a classic episode, and much like a lot of that first 10 or 15 years of The Simpsons, it balances humor with really smart storytelling and plot devices. So yeah, that would be my vote. If talking series and then individual episodes, that's got to be kind of on the list for me. What you reckon?
No, definitely, that's a great answer. And like so many references as well. Like we've talked about Homer and Bart, but what about like the story arcs with Barney Gumble?
True, yeah. There's so many as well. I was thinking like which episodes were the kind of funniest and take a more light-hearted view on the matter after you dissing me for my Barfly review on one of the episodes and picking the most depressing drinking film that I could think of. So, but there's so many there's so many good Barney episodes as well. Like the ones where he tries to get sober, and he's a big part of these episodes that I mentioned, like, or at least it's kind of in the background, for certain.
He's a lovable loser.
Of it. Yeah, he's like the big kind of beer drinking character, but kind of obviously Homer is as well, and he gets like some of the best episodes dedicated to that. But yeah, trying to get sober, and
it's when he goes to space and becomes super fit in the process. When they made him sober and he's doing somersaults. He's super intelligent, but the beer was weighing him down.
Yeah, well, I think it's the State of New York versus Homer Simpson, where at the beginning he has to be the designated driver for their drinking squad at Moe's, and obviously they all go on a massive bender, and he has to drive them home, and then he goes off in a massive bender and leaves Homer's car in New York, and Homer has to go and fetch his car, which is another class episode. And then the one where they submit the films at the Springfield Film Festival, and Barney's is that really kind of sad
one.
Sad kind of art house film about drinking.
Aren't they all outdone by like Mo Man, like football to crotch?
So good, dude. So good. I mean, The Simpsons has been on for so long now. People kind of underestimate how good those first 10 to 15 years of it are. But yeah, so many good episodes, and they're just a handful that we mentioned. So yeah, if you don't know what The Simpsons is, I can't help you. Like, I don't.
Don't worry. I don't think any kids are listening to this show.
I just say, nobody under 30s listen to this, so I think we'll be okay.
Hi, Ian.
Shall we sum up this beer, Stu? What you reckon?
Yeah.
Take it away with your ideologies and beliefs in regards to this brewski.
I don't want to finish it. Not for the fact that I'm enjoying it so much, just for the fact it's okay, but it's almost like a chore to drink.
I don't think it's that bad now. Honestly, I don't know whether I've just gone past that stage of worrying that it tastes like piss, and I'm just kind of fully dedicating myself to drinking it now because I'm an alcoholic. I don't know. Could be either one.
You've got those years of experience. Whereas I'm drinking it, it's like there's like a fifth of a tumbler left. Like even that's a bit much to finish.
Yeah, it's it's got a slight twang to it. I thought when I first opened it. I think, I think it was. I think there's more of a smell to it when I first opened it, and kind of a taste initially, like a cidery kind of taste, like a really kind of odd, kind of sour vibe to it. But now that I'm drinking it, it doesn't seem that bad. It's quite smooth, but it's just got that weird kind of that slight twang to it on the back end. But very very drinkable. I wouldn't have 5 or 6 bottles of it, but.
Yeah.
If I found it in the street, you go there, in a drain or something, I'd pick it up and have a go on it.
We've not got any Chang or Sing Tao and Cobra, Tiger. All the animals are gone. I guess a Baltika.
How do you think?
I'd rather have that over Efes. That was drinking soap.
How would you? Yeah. Efes was a different beast altogether. How do you think it compares to our old friends Qingdao and Chang, those Asian businessmen we met in the toilet that night in Weatherspoons?
I'd rather spend time with those than this. Which, the fact that you've propositioned it that way is like, oh, that sounds weird. You made
So
this
this is
awkward. I'd rather get my lips around a Chang.
He didn't want to. Chang wanted me. I think Chingas was the guy who who had his eyes on you.
Anyway,
so
I think the clock's running out of time.
okay, that's
What
my
did you
cue.
think of this
That's
brewski,
my
Tom?
cue to
Anyway,
stop talking. Yeah, as I say, man, I think both these brewskis tonight initially had a very different taste opening it and having a first sip than they did on the back end, which is quite interesting. I don't know whether that's something that is becoming apparent to me as a seasoned beer reviewer, or it's something that is in common that these two have in common tonight. But yeah, weird one, man. Like, I think the 49er was quite complex first pouring it and having a go, but then it kind of settled and it was just a bit more metallic-y. And then the Baltika, as I said, was very potent like initially, and then it's kind of smoothed out a tad, but definitely would be the 49er in terms of my recommendation for
yes, I would recommend that one as well.
And I'll be interested in having to go on the other beers in their range. So there we have, guys. Two hell yeahs, Austin 316 for for the 49er. So before we start wrapping things up, Stu, social media, how can the audience at home make contact with their podcasting heroes? Where do they go?
If you want to interact with us across the internet, just go on Twitter or Instagram and go at the Lagerlogs, one word, and you'll see us posted pictures of beer, what we're drinking this week, what you should be buying to join us.
Yes.
And then go across to Twitter and watch us post questions every week, looking for questions. And then just don't answer.
Questions.
I know. I started that sentence the wrong way.
Do you think our problem is that we're looking for grant? Do you think the problem is that we're asking questions that are looking for questions? That might be where we're going wrong.
Sometimes I post a question and I also leave the answer. I put a funny gif at the same time. Like Homer daydreaming about a spilt beer truck and he's dancing in the rain.
Speaking of The Simpsons, you brought that back. That's pretty good, there, man. I like that. Callback. Well,
anyway.
Well, yeah, guys, social media, hook that up. Beer mats coming soon, possibly. Keep your eyes peeled on that one.
Shut, Tom.
Oh, sorry. Don't let the cat out of the bag. We talked about it last episode, you fruitcake.
Don't spoil Christmas just yet. Fuck's sake, Santa.
You'll not be getting 20p in there. You will not be finding any money in your fruitcake this year because I just don't like you. That's it. Do you know what I mean? I hate to bring it up before the show ends. I could have waited till the end of the show, but you know what? It needs to be out there. We're at the end of the show. Now I'm depressed.
As yes, at the end of every episode, ladies and gentlemen.
It's back to that padded room for me with the nice jacket with the buckles on and the keyhole dinner service. It's as close to dinner at the Ritz as a mentally disturbed individual like myself can get, and I'm not complaining. Well, we look forward to next week. I hope you guys do too. We will have the answers to all your burning questions, or maybe we've got questions to your questions, or maybe we're leaving questions that just actually are questions and we don't want answers, we just want questions. But the questions that we will be answering are like, Tom, which member of the Bangles would you most like to take for a lunchtime buffet at Pizza Hut? And Stu, how exactly did you cross the North Sea with nothing but a scouring pad and a postage stamp? I'm on the edge of my seat. Stu's on the back of my seat. Now get out of here while we dispute the winner of this game of musical chairs in peace. So all there's left to say is do svidaniya, cold ones, comrades. And we'll meet you outside the Kremlin next week for a snowball fight. Say hello, Stu. Or goodbye. It's goodbye. It's goodbye. I miss you.
Cheerio!
Let's have another.
See you later, alligators.
That's new. That's modern.
Lagalogs
That's
out.
modern. That's a kind of a new one. That one is. That's good. Do you want to stop recording or
Just press the button.
I'm gonna tease you. I'm gonna tease you with the stop.